I got
don't know.
told that everyone and anyone can sing.
Yeah.
Now, that could be a total lie, but I've heard it many times. It's all in the breath.
Yeah, but I think you got to
You have to have some
you got to practice
sort
a
of
little
talent.
bit.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. You keep it up. You start now. In a year's time, when the next year's edition's on, you'll be a champion.
My auntie's a singer, and I actually went to her
Yeah.
for some advice, and she's like, okay, what's a song you know the words to? And you put it on and had to sing, and she started looking at me like, all right, so where do we start? I was like, yeah, I know, it's really bad. I said, wine helps, but I don't know if wine helps in the sense that it loosens me up so your vocal cords are more relaxed so you can sing better and hit those notes, or because I'm just drunk and it sounds better.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know. I feel like if people ask you every now and then, like, if you could have any talent, only dream, what would it be? And it's like, why not just try?
Man, I love it.
I don't know, I have a lot of regret in life. Probably shouldn't, but
About what?
I don't know, I always look back on whether it's like the week or the day or the year and go, oh, I wish I did that, or... And I know most people do, but...
Do you have like a moment in your life where you're like, this is where it all started going wrong?
Yes, I literally
And I'm not
have
talking
that.
about what you can't control, like your parents, but when you made a choice.
Yes, when I've made a decision to bring up a topic of conversation and it goes complete other way and then it just kind of snowballs and then something happens, something else happens, constantly, every day. I think back and I go, if I didn't think about that, then I wouldn't have said that, and then that wouldn't have happened, and then we wouldn't be where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly. But I feel like that's everyone. I don't know, a lot of people have sort of certain anxieties and doubts and things like that, and they play it. I don't know. This could be completely not normal, but how do you know? How do you know what's normal as well?
I don't think there is a normal. So there wasn't some like really pivotal day in your life where you had a fork in the road that you can think of?
Many, but I think it evolves more around like relationships. You know, you get an argument, or you go, I shouldn't have said that, but then it's like it's bound to happen. Something was, I guess if something's wrong or something's going to go wrong or conversation was going to be had, it was going to happen one way or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's life as well. A situation's going to arise whether you instigate it or not, but that's just, I don't know, you've got to be okay with your choices, I guess. Why do you have a point in your life where you were at a crossroad?
No, there was a moment where I was like, I could have done something that could have radically changed my life.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I had like a high school. I went to this high school and I had a girlfriend, but it wasn't serious. It was like high school going steady kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she was really cool. And our school got closed. So and we both didn't live near the school. So we had to choose another school to go to. She got a scholarship, like full paid scholarship to go to this really fancy rich school.
Wow.
Full pay, full ride. And so she went off to this all-girls school, and we lived on opposite sides of the city, and I just went to my local school.
Yeah.
Because I was at the other school for
Public
academic
school? You can
public
tell.
school, yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. And she ended up marrying, like, literally the guy she met. She took to the school formal next year, like, that she met through, whatever private school
And they tee
kids
up with
do.
the boys' school. And...
Yeah. And,
oh, my gosh.
And, I remember that summer in between our last day of school together and because we lived on opposite sides of the city, we didn't have driver's license. We were too young to we were probably right at the age where I probably could have asked my parents can I catch the train to the other side of the city to go, but we were like 14. But I didn't. And I said, oh, that's life. There's plenty more hot babes where she came from. and just moved
Getting
on.
more efficiency.
And there was like, I was going to a new high school and it was exciting with all the new girls
Didn't want
there.
to be tied down. you
Yeah.
know.
And
Wow.
I reckon if we'd stayed together, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Anything could have
this other
happened.
guy who she ended up marrying was a dreamboat to her. But
Yeah.
I've never really ever met a girl that we actually had good chemistry with since then.
Since 14.
Yeah, which is
Wow.
weird. So I have to say to myself, oh no, that was just young love and all that. But I had plenty of other crushes, but nothing like that.
But they say your first love is your, I don't think that personally. I just think you're young, naive, and dumb. So,
But
you've
now
got nothing to compare it to.
I couldn't dream of meeting. I couldn't think of someone I could meet who I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to marry and settle down and have kids with. It's not even a concept. But with her, I'm like, well, I probably would have done it if she said so.
Yeah, but is it the typical you always want what you can't have as well?
Yeah.
Because I feel like no matter how much you try and ignore that or go, no, that's not me, everyone's a child at heart.
Yeah.
If you always want what you, well, maybe not always, but it definitely applies in one way or the other.
So yeah, that was one pivotal moment. There's probably other like pivotal moments where like, yeah, if I turned a corner, I might have got hit by a bus and died.
Oh yeah, exactly. There's those moments where, this wasn't a pivotal moment. This was a terrible moment where I was parked illegally at it's just a block of land next to the train station because you have to pay. Anyway, this is where Grandma actually saved 2 people's lives. So hopped in my car, went to check my messages, started my car, went to say, they're going over here or something or other, messaging someone, and I wrote the incorrect there. I think I wrote THEIR and I wanted, they are, apostrophe. So I went to hit send and then I thought, I can't send it. I can't be illiterate. I can't do it. So I spent the time going back and corrected the there to there and then went, cool, yep, perfect. Smashed it in reverse, went to just reverse back, which would have gone straight over a footpath. And I was looking for cars, not pedestrians. It was terrible. And yeah, so I did that, got to sort of the actual road, and I was probably maybe less than a metre away from these 2 people walking past. I think they were children too. It was terrible. And I looked and my heart just sunk and I thought, if I had not corrected my grammar, I would have run over these 2 children. So
Oh my God, that got dark quick. I was like, I thought it was going to be an incident with a train or something.
No, it was terrible, and I feel like I have definitely had more moments like that, and I'm just like, thank you, universe. And I actually do say thank you, universe, out loud too. So I'm that person. But it's like, thanks, Grandma, for saving.
And so that is your literal grandma you're talking to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I spent the time to correct my grammar in a text message. Otherwise, I would have...
grammar as in your language. I thought you were talking about your grandma. You're texting your grandma.
My grandma. Sorry, no. Grammar. My grammar, yeah.
And then in the previous episode, you were saying that you were a bit of a grandma and you helped people, old ladies across the street and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got some bad news I wanted to tell you in the spirit of this podcast.
Why?
Live on the thing.
Don't.
Last episode, it was a few weeks ago now, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks, I think.
It could have been last week. My life is just so crazy at the moment. But I was really excited. You came out of your shell. We had a great podcast. We revealed certain things about each other. We got to know each other, and I was like, oh, that's a great podcast. I got home and I excited. I pressed play
Oh, God.
on the recorder, and it started playing, and went
Did we not get any of it?
corrupted file.
No. Look, I'm not going to lie, I can't really remember what we talked about at all, but...
And I've had corrupted files before, and I can fix them. So I was like, oh, this sucks, but I've know how to fix them. I've been through this before. And I came in and it just didn't. I tried every piece of software, every trick, and the rally was it just must have died. And normally in previous podcasts we've been live streaming, and you have if you live stream to Instagram or something, it keeps a backup on the cloud for 24 hours so you can re-download it.
Right.
But because we were just doing a test episode, I didn't have a backup. So this year I'm plugged in and doing a
Backing up your
backup.
backup.
Anyway, I felt Devo. because it was a really good episode.
Devo. I didn't know Devo was still around.
Yeah.
Apparently it is.
I probably picked
You've
it up
brought
from
it back.
Kelmy.
Oh, gosh.
Are you from Armidale or Kelmscott? Or
For the
Rolleston?
record, given that last week's episode was not recorded, I'm from Kelmscott,
Okay.
not Armidale.
All right. What is the... This was a big reveal. And
And I
everything clicked
regretted it,
together.
so I'm not revealing anything now.
Why?
Because the regret. I don't know why I like to broadcast to everyone.
Yeah.
I tell them where I'm from, and they just look at me different.
Really?
And they go, "Oh yeah, I can."
I have a soft spot for Kelmy girls, which
Okay.
I described on the last podcast, which wasn't
Yeah.
recorded. We're recording today on the 16th of November, 2020. We're looking over the city. In the lost episode, you revealed that you've never been to Kings Bluff during the day before. And you still haven't really gotten over it. You were a bit excited. But while
I'm
we're setting
still
up.
excited to be
Yeah.
here today. I drove in. I was like, "It's just so beautiful. How you don't even really feel the incline, and then all of a sudden you're just 100 feet over the city. It's amazing. I'm easily amused if you couldn't tell. But obviously Kings Park is beautiful at the same time.
Anyway, that's my breaking sad news. But I feel like...
Also, it wasn't actually about old people. I was waiting for the bad news to be about an old person. I thought you were just going to break my heart.
Oh, no.
Okay. good.
No old people dead yet.
That'd be nice.
Unless they've got COVID. And then they live in America, in which case they're dying like flies.
And you said my comment was dark before.
So you don't have a path like that, like other than possibly dying?
That was pretty huge. I'm definitely going to put it on the research list
Mhm.
and have a think.
Why didn't you've been doing bits and bobs, been auditioning for things and stuff like that, and is this come out of nowhere?
No, probably 2 years ago I would have told people that I'm not creative at all. Like I can't draw, I can't sing, but I don't. It kind of did. My sister is sort of a big believer in me, and I like to make people laugh, especially when I've had a couple of drinks.
Older sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to dance around and make a fool of myself. I get on the spoons. Yeah, I'll have to bring out the spoons at one point in this podcast.
As in
I'm
a
pretty
musical
good at it.
instrument?
Oh,
the
yeah.
spoons? Okay,
Yeah.
well. I wasn't sure if that's like a new drug that's going on, like get on the
God,
spoons, like get on the
No.
nangs.
No, I would not be up to date with that. So, but no. So I just like to have have a bit of a laugh, and it was kind of her that put it in my head. She's like, "Oh, you should be an actor." It's like, okay, sure. And then I don't know. The more I thought about it, the more I just.
So this is
enjoy.
a completely new thing, or was it like you had a dream in high school and you got put off
No,
by life
definitely.
stuff?
No, I didn't have the dream in high school. I didn't do drama. I think I did drama in primary school, didn't pursue it in high school. High school, I was a sheep and just did what all the, the cool girls were doing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to fit in, which I did not. But no, and the more creative I got, the more I sort of enjoyed it and found myself.
So this could be this turning point in the path right now. You could be on you're on the precipice.
Yeah. I
Right
believe
now.
that the universe sort of gives us signals and signs and things
Mhm.
like that, and I don't know, maybe the universe gave me the idea, I don't know.
I think you said before, like one of your things you really want to do is travel alone. Like what would, if the world was different and we weren't under like COVID lockdown, stuck in our little cozy corner of the world, would you be jetting off somewhere as part of this?
I say that, but then, look, I haven't. How old am I now? 26. I said that since I was 18. I'm like, yeah. I've actually come across old messages I sent friends when I was 18 thinking, I was really cool and being like, yeah, totes, I'm deafs going to Europe next year. And then they'd reply and they're like, oh, awesome, where are you going? And I was like, oh, I really want to go to Ireland and England just for the accents. Oh my God. And I was talking as if I had this this trip booked. And I was thinking, who were you? You didn't have anything planned. You didn't have anything booked. You were just saying words and had no intentions of actually following through. So, yeah, I would like to say that I would be going to probably like Southeast Asia or something. That's the new phase at the moment. Someone mentioned it the other week. I was like, yeah, definitely. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
The hippie pants and the yoga retreats. And
Do you like,
all
are you
that.
saving up leave, like while this COVID thing's going on?
yeah,
So maybe when it
yeah.
ends, you
Definitely.
can head off?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was looking at places last week but just Australia, obviously.
Yeah.
So maybe even over east or up sort of towards Broome Way or something like that. But No, my partner had a birthday a month or so ago, and I selfishly bought him scuba diving tickets in Exmouth so that we have to go on a holiday.
Awesome. And it's one you can just use them anytime, kind of thing.
They expire in a year, so we're going Exmouth next year. I was like, yeah, happy birthday.
I've been watching people's Instagram stories in Exmouth. I've been very jealous.
Oh, amazing. Amazing, yeah. So that'd be awesome. So I definitely have to go there because, I've already paid for these tickets. So that's almost my way of just locking it in, and then it has to be done. So I'm on the brink of doing that for, a trip over East or something like that. Or
at least that's WA. I booked tickets to go to Brisbane for Christmas.
Recently?
Yeah, like last week.
Yeah.
Because that was the original plan. I was going to have, with my Brisbane relatives, we're going to have Christmas over there this year.
Yeah.
And, I've been saving up frequent flyer points and stuff like that. Then the whole thing came down, so we were like, no.
So where is it at the moment? Because, to be honest, I live a bit under a rock. I don't really follow.
I don't know what's going on. I think it's a big mistake. My parents were like, yep, Christmas is back on in Brisbane. And I was like, okay, fine. I booked my tickets. I didn't research this at all.
No.
Yesterday there was yesterday there was a massive breakout in South Australia, which means the border to South Australia just come down.
Yes, I heard that.
So if there's a breakout in Queensland and I'm over there when it happens, I have to come back and be in quarantine for 2 weeks, and I'll probably lose my job.
I love that you're laughing about that, but what else can you do, really?
At a very bad time. I guess it's like if a breakout happens before then, I just lose those tickets.
What's the policy now, being that COVID's already sort of come about? I know previously, obviously, people got credits and things like that.
Well, they unlocked the border to states that don't have COVID on the 14th, which was Saturday. And then South Australia got it on the 15th, which is yesterday.
And so people had obviously already been
so you can still go to Brisbane now, I think.
Yeah.
But if the breakout from South Australia spreads to Queensland, because I don't think South Australia's cut and Queensland's locked down from South Australia, then WA will lock the border down to all the other states. Who knows what's going to happen.
Oh, well, you wouldn't be the only person that would have done that.
Yeah.
Especially Christmas time, like, everyone's desperate to see their family and things like that, so.
Yeah, you got to do this stuff for family and that.
Yeah, you got to risk it to get the biscuit.
One of my Instagram buddies who I've never met before, who I just, like their photos and like my photos back, got attacked like last week.
That's not nice.
No.
Shit, where?
Just walking home from, I think she was out. She lives in like Townsville or Cairns or something. So I don't know I don't know those cities, so I don't know what they're like, but they don't feel like big cities. They feel like country towns from my point of view of never being there.
It's another assumption.
Yeah. And it's funny that it's someone you never met before, but you actually I actually was like worried about her.
Yeah.
For like, 2 or 3 days, I was thinking about it, even though I've never met this person before.
Yeah. Wow.
They're just like when a person who does music on their, on the Instagram, and I like their music and stuff. I don't know about this podcast that I listen to like religiously. One of the people in that died, and it like affected me more than like my own grandmother dying.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I guess that you listen to that same podcast every week. They're part of your for 2 hours. It was a 2 hour long podcast. So they were 2 hours a week. You hear them talk for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it's huge. It's same as I can't remember, some masterclass I was watching, and I think I can't remember if they were a writer or a director or something, but they were just on the topic of might have been Grey's Anatomy, very embarrassingly, and it was a discussion about how you spend more time essentially with the people in these TV shows in your own living room than you do with your own family, and it's like that is so true. I mean, I guess it's just as sad as realising that you spend more time at work than you do anywhere else, or doing things that you actually enjoy doing, unless you love work, which not a lot of people do. But yeah, and it's just you spend more time with these people in your living room on TV than you would with your normal family. And I actually, it's so sad, but binge watching any TV series, Grey's Anatomy goes for 16 seasons. It's now up to 17.
And you finished?
I'm up to date, yeah. So 17, I think, came out,
And you've been watching it the whole time, or you just been...
No, I watched all this year.
In 9 months, basically.
Not even. I think we started in April.
Wow.
And then finished in
2 episodes a night kind of thing?
September.
Maybe
sure,
more?
we'll go with 2 episodes a night. No. And then even my partner's like, yeah, but look, COVID, right? Like, it was COVID, you know, had nothing else to do. And I was like, yeah, our life didn't really change for COVID though, so we can't blame that. That's not realistic. We would have done this regardless. But anyway, so yeah, I would go through sort of points in my life thinking about, you know, you're doing work and then you sort of get dropped back into reality and think about your life. And I started thinking about these characters like they were my family, or, you know, I'd bring them up in conversation going, oh yeah, I can't believe so-and-so had the baby, but then they slept with that person and they married that person. Like, what?
There's some... Yeah, I've had a couple of shows that I've binged, like hardcore binge, like stayed awake all night because I was so addicted to them.
Yep.
And when it ended, there was definitely like I felt lost in my life.
You feel an emptiness, don't you? I have to be prepared for it. If I've had a rough week, which I did a couple of times, and we're at the end of a season, I thought, I'm not in that mind frame. I can't end it. I can't do it. I'm going to have to wait till next week when I'm in a better mind frame and I'm in a happier place. Like, it can't be a Sunday night, you know, that Monday morning dread. It, you know, it's so sad, but they have such a big impact on your life and your mood.
It's crazy.
Though that's one of those turning points.
Imagine what it's going to be like when we have full-on VR, proper VR. It's going to be insane. You're going to have these imaginary friends.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because have you seen, I don't know if you've been following...
At least I'll finally have friends, though.
Fun? Yeah. Boom. Have you seen, there's some scary stuff going on in, like, artificial intelligence right now? Like, you know, did you ever see the movie Her?
No.
Oh, you should watch that. Put it on
Sorry,
your
you're not
list.
boring me. I'm just...
Directed by Spike Jonze, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson. Put that on
I'll
your...
watch that.
Put that on your list.
She's good in anything.
Yeah, well, I don't want to hype it up, but she's not in it that much anyway. But you'll see what I mean when you watch it.
Missed, yeah, okay.
Basically, in that movie, he gets like a more advanced version of Siri, and he kind of like falls in love with her. And
right.
So that's like the basic premise.
Is it newish or? I couldn't imagine a movie with Scarlett Johansson where she wasn't in it a lot. To be new though.
Oh, it's probably really old now. We have different perspectives. For me, it feels like a new movie, but for you, it was probably like when you were in high school.
It came out a couple of years ago, 1992. It's black and white.
I mean, it's a fairly modern.
Like,
you wouldn't go in it going, "Oh, this is an old movie." But okay, so when that came out, it's like it actually came out like only like a year after Siri came out on an iPhone. So that's probably what they got the idea off, and they wrote a movie about it. So it was probably like came out in 2012 or 2013. Siri came out in 2011. So when that came out, it seemed really that was a science fiction movie, like a version of Siri that you could actually fall in love with. But there's this new thing out called it's like GPT-3. I don't even really understand it, but they've literally like people are getting to submit like school assignments to teachers, and teachers can't tell the difference between it and like a real student submitting stuff. And like
that's dangerous.
They've got it writing blog posts, and you can't tell if it's a real person writing the blog post. They've got it creating art, you know, like writing a play.
That is sad though. Like, what a world we live in where I'm definitely born in the wrong generation, but that is sad. That's too far.
You reckon?
I'm not a fan.
You couldn't if you could recreate Kate from Grey's Anatomy. Is that a real person? No.
Who?
Kate from Grey's Anatomy. Is that a person? Who's your favourite character in Grey's Anatomy?
What, Kate Walsh?
Is it? No.
I like her. She's good. She's not in it anymore.
Who's your favourite character from Grey's Anatomy? Who do you want to be best friends with?
Who's the hottest? No, I can't say. Dudes? I mean, there's Patrick Dempsey, but...
Is he still in it?
I don't want to spoil it. No, he's not. He died.
Oh, no. Okay. What if you could have your own Patrick Dempsey that you know, he only talks to you through, like, your headphone?
All right, I'm sold. Okay. Yep, done.
But you can actually have a real conversation with it. That's when it gets weird, right?
That's when it gets really fucking weird. It'd be like you're just talking to yourself.
What if I was just a virtual reality person you're talking to now?
It'd be like Inception.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Nah, not keen.
Anyway, things are going to get weird way faster than I thought it would, because this GPT-3 or whatever it is, I thought this was like something that would be happening 5 years time at the earliest, like mid-20s, 2020s. But it's here now. it's just a big computer, and they get it to read books and stuff, and they feed the books into it, and it just learns like a human does, kind of. And obviously it doesn't have touch or sight, so it can't learn things about this world, but it can learn language by just reading books.
So I guess essentially it's like a Sheldon, where he doesn't have any sort of social skills or anything like that, but he's got the knowledge and the education to function.
It's definitely on the autistic spectrum right now.
Yeah.
But maybe when they put it in a robot and the robot can go out in the real world and interact with the world, it will start to get even weirder, because it will learn about our world.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're basically trying to do. They're trying to, rather than make the world's most powerful computer that can just know all of Wikipedia and answer true or false questions, they're actually just getting a very generic sort of computer that can learn things by working very similar to the way the human brain works. And it's like kind of teaching a monkey at the moment, but soon it'll be like teaching a 2-year-old kid. And once you've got that,
Just evolve.
it can evolve into like an adult human being. Do you know what a pet rock is?
A pet rock? Is that a... What do you mean? I used to have pet rocks. I used to collect rocks.
Have pet rocks.
I used to collect rocks as a kid, and sometimes I'd draw faces on them.
And you would think of it as a pet?
Look, I wouldn't put a rope on it or a lead on it and drag
Did you ever call it a pet rock?
No, it was more of a rock collection, I guess. But they had faces. Some of them had faces. And
Is
I took
that
them
like,
everywhere.
oh, you're a kid and you don't have any dolls, so you'd like...
This is when I was like getting into teenage years. I'd move house and I would pack them up and take them with me. Like, I think I still have some rocks. Rocks in my keepsake items.
I've been following this person that would probably audition for a film that I did back in like the early 2000s, because their number is in my, I don't know how, Google, and that is all creepy. Or I guess their email is in my Google, and you know how like if you log in with your Google account, it like goes into your Google account and takes out all your emails, and then Instagram comes up and says, oh, you might know this person because they're in your contacts list.
Yeah, I got Google today. I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it comes up, so I followed this person, and they started selling rocks. That's what if the acting didn't work out, and they're selling
genius
rocks.
idea.
Like special crystals, and I meant to give you like power or something.
Oh yeah, I have many rocks. And
is this what you were collecting rocks?
No,
for?
These were just river rocks that I thought
that you
were cool,
collected yourself,
no,
or you bought them?
No, I collected.
Okay.
I was a kid. I didn't have money. But no, now I actually oh my god, I can never say the difference between generally and genuinely. Anyway, I genuinely collect crystals and rocks and stuff.
Okay.
Now. And I pay for them.
Still now?
Yes.
Okay, so you would buy off this person if they had good rocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
If the price is right.
Okay, so you're still...
Right.
You know what a pet rock is, and you still collect rocks.
Yeah.
But you've never heard you had, until I said that. When I said the term pet rock, what came to mind?
I imagined a kid with a piece of string tied to a rock, like running around like a little pet rock.
Yeah, sometimes if we were out on a holiday, didn't have my toy collection, I'd find like the top of a pen and go, oh, this kind of looks like a spaceship. And I pretend it's a spaceship and make my own fantasy around it.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like you did? Right.
Yeah.
But you never like introduce people, hey, this is my pet.
No.
It's a rock.
No. Not that I know of.
Because you're embarrassed?
I'm sure I did many weird things. Worse than that too, but no, I did not.
Well, maybe you've answered my question, because that was going to be my thing. What is a pet rock?
Okay.
Because I heard someone talking about pet rock as a concept. Like maybe it's a brand or something.
Oh, it's probably like some cool hip club that everyone goes to. Like, yeah, did you go to Pet Rock last night? Yeah, no, I got totally wasted.
Okay.
This is a person that thought Uber was a type of drunkenness. So, you know how people go, oh, I was smashed, I was blind, I heard someone when Uber officially came out going, yeah, I got an Uber last night. I thought that meant like, yeah, I got totally Ubered. Like, I was so wasted. And then I realised it was a type of transport.
I got an Uber.
Yeah. And then Ola and, all those ones came out and I was like, just big fool, don't open your mouth this time. Just pretend. And that's really what I do every single day. You're not alone long and genuinely pretend to know what people are talking about, and I have no idea.
The next item I wanted to look up, what is a floozy?
Floozy. Floozy is like it's like a whore, isn't it? Like, you're such a floozy. Or is it just like a person that's flaky, like Bales and stuff like that?
Yeah, like very loose in
Floozy.
their
No, I want to go with
commitments.
with answer A. Floozy. He's like a whore.
She gets around, very
Oh,
loose with their morals.
Yeah.
Loose, floosy. Floozy. Okay. A floozy. I heard someone refer to someone as a floozy the other day, and I was like, I wonder what... I should look that up. No, I won't. I'll put it in the show notes for the podcast, and then I'll look it up afterwards. So you think it's someone who
sleeps around.
Sleeps around.
It's a floozy.
Okay, so it's just like calling someone
I've heard of it. I've heard of it too, but again, I can't say... Oh, phone's dead. I can't say that, I ever actually got closure on, what the term meant.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, look at her.
It's one of those,
She looks
you just
like
assumed,
a floozy.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you saw someone describe the floozy, just like, yeah, she's a
she's
slut.
definitely a fucking floozy.
I'll probably
I'm not happy that it's always referred to as a woman.
slapper. Yeah.
A guy's a man or
What's
a
your
bro
favourite
if he
term
sleeps
for
around
a male floozy?
a man whore, I guess.
A man whore.
Yeah.
Is that
But then again, why is it man whore? Why is he not just a whore?
Yeah.
Why is it man whore?
Mm-hmm.
That's so sexist. I'm so sexist.
Women
Hate
need to
myself.
get together and sort this stuff out.
Yeah.
I feel like they're like, oh, that's so sexist. I feel like you guys should have a meeting and go, let's make up a word for a man horse. We don't have to.
Yeah, let's start it.
Yeah.
Guys never get called like.
We should start it on this
sluts or,
podcast.
Oh, he's a man slut.
You want something kind of like, like floozy is kind of like, it's a very liquidy sound, like fluid. They're a very fluid person that they just wrap themselves all around lots of other people. So you need like a fluidy sounding term
New
for a
word
man.
for it. All right, I'm just gonna think of a male that I know that slept around lots, maybe had some sort of disease at some point, and then go from there. Really,
Yeah.
maybe I'll base it off their actual name.
This is your homework for next episode. Did you have any assumptions that you want to discuss?
No,
Or do you want to state your assumptions?
I really got to get better at this.
But what I had an idea for is if you can't think of something in between episodes, we're going to have a segment called the Black Box.
The Black Box.
And that's where I randomly pick up a Wikipedia article for you to research. And the one that I picked for you last episode was The World Famous Bushman. That's the title of the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
What do you think that is referring to? The World Famous Bushman.
Yeah, that was... See, that's what I don't want to answer.
You got to state your assumptions. You got to think of an assumption. You got to assume. What do you assume based on the title?
It's just like Ernie Dingo up in the tree that doesn't want
So you
the
think
trees to get cut down, so he lives up there.
okay. So it's a tree warrior, someone who's like
Yeah, he loves the trees.
okay.
Why? What comes to your mind? You
Well,
know what it is.
I thought like Bushman was like Ned Kelly. Or they a
Yeah.
bush ranger.
I don't know.
So my assumption is, because I had to look up the article, I think I know what it is, but my assumption before I opened the article was it was kind of like Ned Kelly. Like Ned Kelly's a bush ranger, that's a bush man.
Mm.
It would be some guy who's like really badass at being in the bush, like the Bush Tucker Man. Do you ever watch
Yeah,
that
so
as
he
a kid?
loves the trees. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Sometime later.
We are recording on the on Fraser Avenue, Kings Park, Perth, Western Australia.
Beautiful place to be.
24th of November 2020. It's our time in space. So last week we discussed, and I don't know if you want to go first, Grace, but you just had to guess basically what this thing was just from the title, which was The World Famous Bushman. And you're thinking, oh, this is some kind of Australian character, maybe like an Ernie Dingo or something that
Yeah.
Ernie Dingo would play
Yeah.
in a show. Did you look it up? Did you get any?
I did look it up.
Did you get any sense of what this actually is? The world famous Bushman, the title of a Wikipedia article that she has not or did not read when I gave it to her.
I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
I guess the gum tree in my vision. I just pictured this man up in a tree doing, Greenpeace and trying to save the trees and whatnot in Australia, but obviously I was completely wrong. He did give me nightmares though. I had a nightmare about him last night after I
Did you watch some videos?
No, I didn't even watch videos. So the Wikipedia article basically says that he's a gentleman. Was it Florida? He's over in...
I think it
Over in
might have been
America.
San Francisco,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it could have been.
Yeah, no, San
I
Francisco sounds correct. And he basically just hides behind trees and rattles them as tourists or people going by and scares the living hell out of them. And then people then catch on and he gets a following and a bit of a crowd around him and people just start mocking whoever's getting scared at the time. It sounds hilarious, right? And it sounds like a bit of fun. You scroll down though and the man looks scary as hell. It's not just standing behind, a nice tree. He's standing behind the tiniest little sort of branch and waving it around. And yeah, I had nightmares about him last night.
Just from the picture?
Just from the
Did you watch
picture.
the video?
No, I did not.
I should maybe watch the video.
Probably a good thing. I had a nightmare he was chasing me with a knife and... But that was probably mixed with watching too much murder documentaries on Netflix as well, so...
The interesting thing that I found is this guy does it as a job, and he claims that he makes
Oh.
around 60,000 US a year, which is like
What?
100,000 Australian. Which
I'll take my hat off to
they
him.
have. San Francisco is a very expensive city to
Yeah.
live, so it's probably not that much money for. It's like
For
the
over
most
there.
expensive city in the world to live in, but
Like, I'm sure I could branch out, go into other cities, maybe not make as much, but...
Yeah.
How is that a job? Who pays him?
well, he's like they call him a busker on that Wikipedia page. He's like a
Yeah, I
busker,
know.
Have you ever considered busking?
No. No.
Not
have
recently with this new sort of creative tilt.
No.
Challenge your fears.
If I could sing, if I could actually sing,
Maybe we'll get tipped right now, just sitting on the.
should we put a hat out? We're sitting quite low as if we were, nowhere to go, nowhere to be.
Yeah.
No, look, if I could sing, I reckon I would. But that's the one thing in the world that if I could do anything would be to sing.
Are you going to keep pursuing singing?
No, I'm not good at it. At all. There's some things in life you need to accept, and I'm accepting that slowly.
Really?
Yeah.
But you haven't have taken a class or anything to really put it to the test?
No, but a lot of people have told me.
What if it's that one thing that's like literally just 1 week of classes? It's like, oh, okay, I got it now. And boom, you're off to the races.
I was listening to a, I don't know if it was a podcast, it was just on the radio about people ringing up if you actually had to be a born natural singer or if it was a talent that you could learn. And then a lot of people do say it's something that you can learn, like everyone can sing in a sense, but not necessarily great or well. So, and I guess it depends what keys and tones are involved and things like that, but there's only so many songs that have, B flat or whatever that you can sing to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then people are actually ringing up, singing, and then I was saying, is that something, can you be taught? And they're like, no, you can't. You need to be half decent at it to start with. You need to have like the vocal cords somewhat. Why? Are you looking to sing?
No.
What's-
But I thought about maybe I could get into it.
What's one thing in the world that if you could do anything, if you could be the best at anything, what would it be?
Oh,
Don't say podcasting.
no. Phew. I mean, I would love to play Eric Clapton's Layla
I love
on
that
piano.
song. Oh my god, I'm trying to teach myself piano.
Yeah. And it's one of the things, but I'll probably never get around to doing it. But just that one song. Do you know, like, when you walk into, like, some place and it's got a piano and everyone's like, oh, we've got to play it, we've got to play
Yeah, and everyone's got
the
that.
chopsticks or the dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun. And but I would love to just be able to just not know any other song but walk in and play Eric Clapton's
Just kill it.
Layla.
Mine's Billy Joel, Piano Man.
Yeah, well, that's a classic, isn't
That
it?
is a classic, but
You can make money of that. You go to actually in Sydney, I was just stopping over in Sydney and I had to find somewhere to go lunch, and I went to like Darling Harbour, one of their little harbour things, and there was like a paddle boat in the middle of the harbour, and I walked
Yeah.
onto it and it's like, oh, this is a restaurant. I was like, oh, cool, I'll have my lunch on a boat in a harbour.
yeah.
And then they had this thing like, if you sing a song on the piano, they had a piano in the corner, you get a free bottle of the house red wine to go with your dinner.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's probably like free labour, but
Yeah.
probably a whole dispute about that. But
Yeah. Yeah, now.
get making artists work for free.
Wouldn't be able to get away with it these days.
Yeah, I mean, you could go in there, do the Piano Man, and people buy you drinks.
Sounds more luxurious than it probably is. Screw up a couple of notes, you get booed off stage.
So you wouldn't ever like you learn. So let's say 2 years time, you're pretty damn good at the piano. You're not going to go out and do some busking.
Just drag a massive piano down the street with me. No, why? No. Couldn't do busking, I don't think.
Okay.
No. Why? What's with your recent obsession with busking?
Well, that was the topic. The world famous Bushman.
True. I was gonna get a bit off topic here. Oh, look at Kookaburra.
So is that what would you want to be really good at? Singing.
Singing.
I feel like you shouldn't give up on the singing thing. You know, Ewan
I never really
McGregor,
started
Nicole
it.
Kidman in Moulin Rouge, one of the biggest musical films ever.
Mm.
Right? I don't know. Probably not as big as Sound of Music. They couldn't really sing.
You don't think?
Did you think they were good singers? There's
No.
something off about them in that movie. I
Wasn't
really
anything off.
love that movie, but the
Not
singing,
really. Yeah.
they could have. I feel like, I guess they have to have famous actors in these things, but I feel like they could have got some better singers in.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah.
Singing, playing soccer.
What would you do with singing? Would you want to be a singing star?
So many people want to be stars, things. I don't know. No. I'm too lazy for that.
You just want to be able to like walk down and do a.
No, and I'd hate for people to know me as well, so it kind of blows that.
Yeah, you've got this real tension between. I want to do these things, but then I'm like, oh, what if someone finds out I do them?
What if, yeah. I don't know. Maybe because I'm still trying to figure it out. If I was more sure of everything, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but...
Yeah, anyway, so I was amazed. Apparently, he could have just been bragging he makes $60,000 a year. And I'm like, if you watch the video, I'll put a link to one of the videos on there.
I didn't realise there was a video.
It is, I thought, when
you laugh
I
at this?
read
Was it
the
funny?
article, I thought it was a whole stage production where, because it was like a busker, you know how buskers usually have a bit of a show going on? But no, it's literally him behind 2 twigs of leaves.
Yeah, I know.
Just like wrestling them and going and scaring people.
Yeah, it's definitely not all it's cracked up to be.
And
Don't go to San
but
Francisco.
hey,
just
do
for him.
what you love.
If you love
scare
wrestling.
the hell out of people, do it.
Yeah.
The thing that I was going to look up, Pet Rocks. We found
Oh,
out
God.
that Grace has did have rock
rock
friends
collection.
as a
I
child.
still do. They just sort of changed forms.
Yeah, and I watched this video. I was like, well, how do I find out about Pet Rocks? The guy that made the video was like, his assumption going in was exactly that it was like what you did was like getting a rock and putting a face on it and creating a character.
Yeah.
But the thing that I was curious about was actually a brand called Pet Rock. And apparently it was this guy in the 1970s in America, of course, who literally got the trademark for Pet Rock and just got a bunch of random rocks and made a little package which and yeah, it's like a cardboard box, kind of like what did you ever buy Crazy Crabs as a kid?
Yeah.
Did you ever get them they give you them in the cardboard box to take home to put in the aquarium?
Yeah. I forgot about them.
It was like a little box like that, or maybe like what you'd get a Happy Meal in.
Yeah.
You know, cardboard box.
Oh, yep.
McDonald's Happy Meal. And it had some straw in the bottom, and then the rock was just there.
Nice.
And it had Pet Rock in fancy branding on it, and he sold them for $4. And one of the interviews they showed said he sold over 1 million of them, or he was about to sell about 1 million of them, and I think it kept on going beyond that. And he just thought it was a dumb idea that was funny, like a gimmick thing that you get at like Things Gifts or those weird shops that you go to that are just weird gifts. And but it kind of became a bit of a craze, and people actually did start taking it seriously. Oh, this is my lovely little rock that someone gave me. Oh, that's so thoughtful. You got me a rock.
Why can't that be a good present,
Yeah. But I'm guessing he made $4 million US back in the 70s, which was probably a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the cost of shipping all these rocks around, so maybe he only got a fraction of that back, but I reckon he made at least $1 million on that project. In its 1970s, which was probably worth like $10 billion now. The other thing I was going to look at, what was the other thing I was going to look up? Oh, floozy. The word floozy.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Pretty much the current accepted definition is a woman, a slutty woman. But what's interesting is it's changed a lot. Like I looked up the etymology.
Yeah.
Do you know that word?
No. I was hoping you were going to ask me that. Yep.
It is
Fake it, make it.
etymology. I'm not even sure I'm saying right, but I guess it's like the study of where a word came from.
Originated from.
Yeah.
Bam! I knew that.
Yeah,
Obviously.
it just sounds right.
Yeah.
It is right.
It was very fitting.
Okay, so floozy is kind of a corruption, apparently. I mean, there's various theories of where floozy came from, but the one most consensus I saw was one where it's a corruption of flossie. Somehow these women were called flossies back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. They were, I guess, where floss came from was like dental floss. You ever thought about why it's called dental floss? Like not like dental string? Apparently, like silk from a silkworm is called floss. Or originally, back in the day, used to be called floss.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's what people used to floss their teeth with, was the silk from a silkworm, maybe. Now it's probably all plastic. So if you silk was used in like fancy lace. So if you're a woman who's a bit of a socialite and you're a bit fancy and you're covered in lacy stuff and a bit flirty and flirtatious, you were a flossie.
You're a flossie.
So you weren't originally a slut back.
That sounds nice.
You're kind of like
I'd want to be called a flossie.
A socialite. You're like but I guess a lot of our socialites these days are considered kind of like
just
slutty,
because
like
they've got that personality.
the Paris Hiltons and that shows my age. I don't know what the current generation is.
I'd rather not say.
Okay, so they reckon that's where it came from. There was some old people arguing that no, it came from something else, but I've forgotten what that.
You know what we should do? We should try and bring those old sayings back. Flossie. I'd love that. No one would know what the hell you're on about. Look at that flossie over there.
Yeah. This lady who was a friend of a friend came to my 21st birthday party, and in that time when everyone was having 21st, oh, I got a bug on me.
They probably still are. If people are still turning 21.
All right. Yeah, that's true. Back when people still invited me to 21st birthday parties.
You don't get invited now?
No. Sorry, I had a bug on me and I didn't want to kill it. I used to get everyone like the most random books that I could find, because I didn't want to get them some crappy...
Maybe that's why
if I was going to get someone a crappy... Yes. Yes, that's a good point. But I didn't want to... If I was going to get someone some crappy sort of token gift, I didn't want to get them like something all plastic and that, which I used to when I was a kid. Used to get just whatever rubbish that you find.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So I was like, I'll get him a book, but I wanted to find something weird. And so this lady, who was not my direct friend, but a friend of a friend, she came to my 21st because she invited me to her 21st. And I got her in a weird book. And so she was the first person who came back and said, I'm going to get revenge for this. I'm going to get you a weird book for your 21st. And
Where do you find it? Just
a
from
bunch
like an
of people
op
did.
shop, or
Why you just used to try to go to my local bookstore. I tried not to go to buy the Angus and Robertsons. I used to go to the independent bookstores to support them and just find whatever takes my eye. And it's funny, I got a message from one of my old high school friends saying, just who I haven't spoken to in like 10 years, saying, oh, check out this book. I got a book on how to play guitar, which must have been an absurd idea for me to get her that back then. But now she actually is learning to cut guitar, and she found she had this book, and she says, why isn't it in there? And she opened the cover, and it was from me from like, a long time ago.
It's a sign.
Embarrassing long time ago. Anyway, back on topic. This lady who was the first person to get revenge on me and get me a weird book, she gave me this book, and I took it. It's like you should never unwrap presents at a party
in front of the gift
people,
giver, or just people in general.
Unless there's some reason you have to like. Cause I have been to some parties where they have a special segment where they're unwrapping gifts.
Yeah, that's so awkward for the birthday person. That's just.
And so, but you shouldn't do it because you're distracted. Everyone, it's your party. Everyone's trying to say hello. And I remember unwrapping the gift and going, oh, like that. Because it was such a weird book that she got me.
It's called a poker face.
I know, but I didn't pull it off.
You have to go into it knowing, look, you're probably 80% chance going to hate it, but smile anyway.
This was 15 years ago, and I still have.
You were coming off as a nice guy before, not wanting to kill a bug and, wanting to shop at the independent bookstores, and now you're all like, yeah, I told her it was crap.
I didn't
throw it back in her
say it's
face.
I just went, yeah, thanks. Because I was just a deer in the headlights, right? But felt so bad, and and then I got whisked off to say cut a cake or something, and I still think about this today. Do you have these things, these stupid things that someone else, that lady who gave it to me, probably doesn't even think about me anymore, but I still feel bad about my reaction to the gift, which, as it turns out, bringing us full topic, was a book of extinct words, like old words like Flossie. I bet you Flossie's probably in there. And
That's
it's a
so
cool
cool
book, and I've kept that book because I'm like, I should bring it on the podcast next week if I remember it. I probably have to go to my parents' house to find it, but it's one of the best books I've ever got. And I just still think, oh God, I actually saw her in the supermarket the other day, but I haven't seen her probably since my 21st, which is not my direct friend. I was like, hey, I just wanted to say that I love that
Thanks for the book. Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
What a lovely, lovely story. You weren't getting down to the fact that she's a Flossie, are you?
No, but her sister was a total Flossie. Her sister was. I ran into her younger sister a few years later at this party, and like I felt like I should find her older sister's number in my phone if I had it, or someone who knew it, and report her to her parents for the things she was up to.
Wow. Report her. Doing a public service.
Yeah.
Your daughter's a Flossie.
I hope she turned out okay. Do you have any final thoughts?
Any last words?
I've been dictating what's going on in this episode. Yeah.
The sun's slowly setting. It is getting cold.
Yeah. What time is it?
But no, I've quite enjoyed the
6:30.
location and the topics of choice. And people walking past, looking at us like we're crazy people sitting on a park bench. But then again, they might just be thinking, holy shit, that's Keira Knightley on the park bench in Perth. And then I'm like,
Keira Knightley?
No, just me.
It's because you play soccer. Right?
You don't see it?
When you're a kid.
Seriously?
No, don't get Keira Knightley.
It's because I got my sunnies on. No, just kidding.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
feel
Keira
like-
Knightley. Keep driving. See you later. Yeah, lots of times. I remember I went home to my partner. I was like, oh, like so-and-so said I look like Keira Knightley. He's like, I told you that like 4 years ago. Why do you only listen now that someone else has said it? And then more and more people have said it. I'm like,
I reckon probably, yeah. If I saw you dressed up, maybe, like you're a famous actress.
What'd you say? Because I played soccer. When did she play soccer?
That was her breakout hit, was Bend It Like Beckham. It's like when she first became famous.
Oh, yeah, shit. Yeah, I should have known that too.
Yeah, so maybe when you're a soccer kid, you probably do look like her. And you play soccer, right?
Yeah.
I'm not confusing you with something.
I still play soccer, yeah.
Okay.
But no, it's never in my soccer gear, so.
Apparently, if I wear a wig, I look like the new guy from the British Bake Off. but that's the only thing I've ever.
Do you wear wigs on a regular occurrence?
I think I went to like one Halloween as in a wig, not dressing up like him, but everyone thought I was that guy from.
You remind me of someone, but I don't know who. So
probably I've got to have a doppelganger around.
who was mine? You said you would tell me or show me.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll find a picture of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I need to know because many people said it.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, we'll have an email address so you as the listener can write in what your ridiculous assumptions are, and we can help fix your problems if you have a problem.
Me giving advice to the world. God,
Yeah.
nothing.
The
worse
listener mailbag corner. We'll have to come up with a better name than that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye.